One. This is FTC covering match 15 of the losers bracket. This is again my pregame analysis. Okay, so on top is Master Arbiter's team, and on bottom is 13's team. And again, I'm going to have colored in the map, and as you can tell, most of the colors are darker this time, so I think 13 is going to win. The only advantage I really see for Master Arbiter is the HP on his units. You see two units with above 400 HP, who are both very tanky on their own right. One of them has Weapon Guard and a Shield, the other one and an HP up, the other one has Defense up and Sunken State. However, I didn't give him the entire advantage for that, because the other two units on his team, well, have close to no HP. However, it's not just that, it's also that Master Arbiter has 3 units capable of healing and resurrection, and 13 only has 2. However, if you look at pure damage output, even if it was neutral compat, the advantage goes to 13, because first of all, he has a ninja that deals over 200. I think it was 242. I think at neutral compat. Then you have a knight that deals. Then you have a knight that deals 182, and then you have a thief that deals, I think it was 120. But when you add in compats, it gets even worse. That knight now has good compat with the archer and the priest, and thus can one-shot the priestess immediately. The ninja, well, has worse compat with the knight, which will make that ninja very hard to bring down, because that knight's the best damage dealer on the other team. And then of course, the only thing good about that is that the archer on Master Arbiter's team has best compat with pretty much everyone except the ninja on 13's team. That's covered under something else. Next is status. Neither team has many stati, but Master Arbiter is pretty much dependent on that Lancer using Geomancy, which he's actually going to use a lot, simply because his primary skill set, Jump, is not likely to get used at all, and the AI favors ranged attacks, especially if they're 100%. And Geomancy is probably the top tier status dealing effect, next to Don't Act or Stop or Death Sentence. However, it's just one Lancer, and he doesn't have Counter Flood, he has Sunken State instead. While Geomancy's chance of proc is only 20%, while Confusion Song is probably higher from that knight, and Steel Heart's definitely higher from that thief, especially on the good, except though the Steel Heart only affects that Lancer. But because of this, I'm giving a very slight edge on status to 13, but it's not significant. And like I said, Geomancy could easily reverse that. Luck, however, I think favors 13 a lot more, simply because if you look at the healings, Bailey has worse compat, has bad compat actually with that knight, and can't heal, that Lancer, and actually can't heal very well. And the only person she has good compat with is the archer, so her casting Raise 2 actually may not, or Cure 3, may not go off as much as she would like, especially Raise 2. Also, that knight only has good compat with the Lancer, meaning that for Master Arbiter, he's going to have a hard time bringing his squad back up. Comparatively, that Time Mage has best compat with the ninja, so even though the ninja only has 40 faith or something, and to the Time Mage is 70, combined that's still 56%, or something like that. So Raise 2 still might go off reasonably, and the knight has high enough faith, so it would go off reasonably. The only person who can't really be healed too well by Raise is the thief. And then of course the other factor on luck is Steel Heart. Like I said, it only affects one unit, but then again, Steel Heart is a lot more effective than, say, Geomancy's luck. But this could happen. This could turn around any day. But then we look at synchronization between the two teams, and this is night and day. I would argue that although neither team is perfectly synchronized, I would argue 13 has a much higher advantage here. First of all, Master Arbiter's team has a lot of problems. You have an archer that moves ahead of the entire squad. So a 6-move archer is not... First of all, it's kind of a waste for 2 reasons, because an archer's AI is programmed to seek higher ground and fire. So 6-move is kind of wasted, and if it was... even in general, a 6-move anything with a 3-move rest of the squad is not a good idea, because that unit's going to get ahead of the rest of the group, probably get ambushed and killed, and now it's going to be a permanent 4-on-3. Next you see the Lancer have Sunken State, which is an odd choice, but it's not that bad of a choice if you think about it. But it can turn against you, and I've already noted how the Zodiacs don't favor him this round. But it's not just that, because that Lancer doesn't have 2 hands, doesn't have a Holy Lance, and doesn't have a shield. So I'm not sure how exactly he's meant to how exactly he's meant to survive. Other than have high HP and defense up. Then there's that Priest, which I've already mentioned has HP so low it's in the 1-hit KO range of 2 enemy units. And it's not like she has evasion or anything to function as bait. She's just going to die. And then you have the Knight, which has move HP up, but could have easily stacked double regen with a light robe instead for a lot more healing. And then of course, I already talked about how the Zodiacs don't exactly help Master Arbiter in actually healing his squad, which is not exactly a good thing. But then if you look at 13 squad, there's a few errors in synchronization. That Time Mage has 108 gems, but 108 gems is usually used to boost elemental damage. Oh right, speaking of elemental damage, that White Mage has so low HP because she was pumping out MA boosting gear. She has 17 MA, but no offensive MA attacks. So either this is just used to help her boost her raise chances, or chances of casting Cure 3, or chances of casting Haste. But seriously, normally that high MA is far better used to damage things. And similarly, 108 gems is usually used to boost elemental, so the Time Mage on 13 squad having 108 gems may not be the best choice, but then again it also nulls Frog and Undead and stuff, so it's not too bad a choice either. And that's pretty much in general. 13 put a lot of null status gear instead of direct boosts, which against a team that does more damage or a team that is faster on mobility could be a problem, but considering he's up against Master Arbiter's team, that kind of synchronization error, if you want to call it that, shouldn't affect him much. Plus, he did correctly give a ninja. He did correctly have a squad that moves better with itself. 4-5-3-3 moves. And it's all, except for the Knight, they're all pretty fast. And the Knight has double regen. So that's better synchronization. The only other thing I think Master Arbiter might have in his favor is AI, because the Lancer has Sunken State, and Sunken State is not as discredited as it looks, because Sunken State, if it does go off, gives the Lancer Transparent. A Transparent unit, because of the way we hacked it, will always be the first target to be attacked, so you might take some fire away from the Wizard, which might be nice. But now that my analysis is over, let's see what actually happened. Hello everyone, this is FTC speaking, and this is going to be Losers Bracket number 15, the actual match. So let's introduce the teams. Above is Master Arbiter's team, consisting of Autumn the Marksman. Notice, this Marksman only has item. She does not have any actual marksman skills, which may be for the best, because the marksman skills, to be honest, weren't that good. Then you have Mr. 4 the Lancer, and notice he has 10 speed, which means he might be getting a good number of jumps off, but the times he's not jumping, he's going to be using Elemental for all of, I think it was 28 damage. So he's pretty much hoping to get Elemental to actually proc something. Bailey the Priest, which has no offensive magic, despite having 17 MA. Or Short Charge for that matter, so she only has Raise rather than Raise 2, but this may work. And Lindsay the Knight, which is probably their sole damage dealer on that squad. Now to introduce 13 squad, consisting of Semi the Time Mage. Again, fast, Short Charge, which means she actually has Raise 2, though she doesn't have any time magic other than Haste. So this is entirely a support mage, rather than an offense and support mage. Lovey the Thief, which has steel weapons, steel heart, and items, and this time she can also throw them, and of course she has speed save. Tootie the Ninja, which has, I think, Mimic Daravan, Insult, as well as Throw Sword. So this is mainly meant for damage, and it does it pretty well. And Play the Knight, which does damage, as well as Confusion Song from the looks of it. Though Confusion Song will likely be spammed more simply because it's at range. And of course double regen and defense out. So, the first match will be on Church, number 95. Okay. For those of you who've been wondering why the palettes aren't showing up, it's because I'm making these files with FFTastic, and FFTastic doesn't let me edit palettes. But the squad with the ninja is obviously but the squad with the ninja is obviously 13, so I'm pretty sure most of you can tell who's who. We see Mimic Darabon go off on the Lancer. Okay. The unit they need to take down is actually the Archer and not the Lancer, because the Archer is the one that deals the most damage. And the starting height advantage favors that Archer team a bit, but not by much, and the Archer walks off to start sniping people. And we see an attempt at Confusion Song, but again, nothing major. Let's see if this works. Nope, it was only 43% chance anyways. Okay, so we've already seen what the problem is. That Archer by herself can't bring anybody down. And that ninja's gonna walk, no, he's not gonna walk out of range of haste. Notice, one throw from that ninja put that wizard into critical. This is not good. And as you can see, that knight almost one-hit KO'd that Archer. It would have been critical damage there. So already Master Arbiter is on the defensive. He got a lucky evade in on that Archer, so she didn't get put into critical, but this is already bad. I'm not so sure berserking an Archer whose only means of attack whose only means of offense is direct offense is a good idea, but then again, that Archer won't be healing anybody either, or herself. Okay, so the priest is going for S, so now to turn this back into 4-on-4 again. But and the priest gets mid-charged and put down. This is partly why you kind of need to have short charge on mages in this game. Okay, so the ninja gets hasted, and considering that he is 12 speed, this is soon going to turn into double turn fest. Okay, so the Archer gets put down first. The Time Mage gets healed. And it's already 4-on-2. Actually, no, it's 4-on-1 because the Knight's asleep. I mean, the Lancer's asleep and doesn't really take much damage. And also, waking him up probably isn't that bad an idea either, simply because out of the remaining units, only that Knight can actually heal anybody, and that Knight has terrible mobility. But the Time Mage doesn't even go down from that. Though the Knight just moved into haste range. Okay. Lancer used Sunken State, so everyone's going to try targeting the Lancer now. But he gets put out of it and killed. Yes, the Lancer's fairly tanky between defense up and other stuff, but he didn't really get a turn. He got mid-charged the entire time. So 4-on-1, the Knight's is not even in range to revive anyone. This is over. Though I would argue it's probably over since Mimic Darabon went off early. Now they're just going for Berserk just in case she tries to revive anyone, but I doubt that's needed. And then they go for Confusion, which also probably... Okay, so she actually gets time to revive people. Like that Archer, who gets put down again. And like I said, that Knight would rather go for Confusion Song than do absolutely nothing because it's a ranged attack, and the AI always needs something to do. Okay, it finally goes off, I think at 22%. And they're going to add Berserk to that list, hopefully. As we saw last time, Confused and Berserk units can still use skills for some reason. She uses Chakra on herself, but doesn't really do anything else. And now the knight goes for power ruin because, oh, wait. The AI is notorious for not attacking confused units. Okay, so the unit's confused and berserked. Perhaps this might help. Yep. Now they're gonna go for steel weapon, make her completely useless. There's no need to humiliate this knight. It's kind of already over. But yeah. Yeah, notice that the AI is not attacking the confused berserk unit because it literally can't. So until confusion wears off from damage split or something, nothing's gonna happen. And they're just gonna systematically reduce her to nothing. If I'm not mistaken, the only person... Okay. If nothing happens after the 10-minute mark, I'm just gonna give this to yeah, if nothing happens after the 10-minute mark, I'm gonna give this to 13 because there's no point in watching this. This is just basic humiliation. Welcome back, everyone. This is going to be round 2 of Losers Bracket number 15 of the FFT 1.3 AI S5 tournament between Master Arbiter and 13. 13 won the first match by adjudication because it was 4-on-1 and the enemy knight was confused, and the confused knight had no way of breaking out of confusion because of this stupid AI. The AI won't target a confused unit. And I think the only way it could have been broken is if the confused unit attacked the time mage, which had, I think it was damage split, but the confused unit never got around to doing that. So, instead of forcing it all the way, I just declared 13 the winner. Now, let's see if, and as for what happened, an early Mimic Darabont went off, which turned the match into 4v3, and after that, the Archer advanced because it had 6 move, got killed, and the rest was pretty much history. Let's see if that repeats itself on map 23. Blue Residence. Okay, this is a medium-sized map. It's kind of small, but compared to some of the other medium-sized maps I know, this is medium. Okay, the ninja goes first and throws an ice brand and immediately puts the wizard into critical, forcing the archer, which is the best damage dealer, to heal instead. Hell Ivy, no stop. Okay, let's see if she'll haste, I think 3 units, 2, or attempt to. And we're gonna see more confusion madness. Yep, 3 units get hasted. And the Lancer gets charmed. Wow. Okay. This could turn into another quick victory, if nothing. And the priest gets confused. Okay. This is gonna be quick, I think. The confused unit got killed. I wonder why the AI did that. Maybe it's only because the last unit was confused? I'm not sure. I might have to look into the code later. Okay, the Lancer gets sunken state. And is no longer charmed. Now everyone's gonna try to target the Lancer. And the Lancer gets sunken state again. Wow. That hit went through 55% evade. That's quite a bit. And the priest tries to heal again. Somehow I think she's gonna get mid-charged again too. Yup. Okay. So the thief goes down, so it's actually 3v3 right now. Those early statuses seem to have wore off. But that priest has no evasion and goes back down again. It's going to be relatively hard for this squad in general to actually get towards the other squad and heal that thief. So this might turn into permanent 4v3 if they're unlucky. Yeah, there we go. That's a damage split. Archer goes down. And never mind. They try to cast a Raise 2, but the Time Mage goes down mid-charged. See, this is why I didn't use Raise 2 on my team, because I knew full well that Raise 2 had precisely this problem. Raise 2 had a good chance, not a high chance, but a good chance of getting mid-charged, because it was 3 CTR. The only things that are not mid-chargeable, I think, are 2s, which is near impossible to mid-charge unless your Poke-Taxes Ninja. See, the Thief already crystallized, so it's 2 on 2 now. And the Lancer's confused. Oh, great. Yeah, but the Lancer's near death, so he's going to get put down instead. Knight eats the crystal. And then the Lancer gets put down again. Remember, that Lancer has no shield, and this is where we see not having a shield having a big disadvantage. Because if you don't have a shield, well... okay, good. We don't have another confused loop. Okay, so the Knights don't acted and death sentenced. This is, over. No, yeah, wait. Did Don't Act not go off? Or is she just immune? Anyhow, this match is over. So, congratulations 13, you advanced, Master Arbiter, you've been eliminated.